He was a genius, a coach who revolutionized American distance running. From Olympic podiums to world records, his athletes dominated the world stage. But behind those medals was a storm. Accusations of doping, emotional abuse, a federal ban. This is a story of Alberto Salazar and how two of the biggest names in track and field walked away untouched. Alberto Salazar was no stranger to greatness, a former marathon legend. He won the New York Marathon 3 times in the 1980s, but his real legacy came off the track when he became the head of the Nike Oregon Project in 2001. His mission? To restore American distance running to global dominance. Under Salazar, athletes like Galen, Rupp, and Mo Farah rose to elite status. Rupp won silver in the 10,000 meters at the 2012 Olympics. Farah became a double-double Olympic champion in 2012 and 2016. Salazar was untouchable, a kingmaker in the Nike billion-dollar empire. But not everyone was clapping.
This was the crowning moment for Alberto Salazar, his 2 biggest stars taking gold and silver at the London Olympics. A US athletics legend himself, Salazar is head coach at the prestigious Nike Oregon Project, home to Mo Farah since 2011. But now a number of former athletes and staff who worked with Salazar have made allegations to the BBC about unethical practices and the use of banned steroids. Steve Magnus was Alberto Salazar's assistant coach. In 2011, he says he saw a lab report from back in 2002 relating to US 10,000 metre record holder Galen Rupp, and he took a photo of it.
It had currently on testosterone medication. When I saw that, I kind of jumped backwards. I was like, wait a minute, like on testosterone medication? Testosterone, it's obviously banned. I mean, I knew that. Everybody knew that.
In response, Alberto Salazar says the document is incorrect and says what had been recorded as testosterone medication, a banned anabolic steroid, was actually a legal nutritional supplement called Testo Boost. Both he and Galen Rupp strenuously denied Rupp had ever used testosterone. As part of a year-long investigation, I've heard a number of other allegations, including that Salazar experimented with testosterone to see how much would trigger a positive drugs test, manipulated anti-doping rules on medical exemptions, and encouraged prescription drug use to help performance and weight loss. Kara Goucher is probably the most famous female athlete in America.
In 2015, everything changed. A bombshell report by ProPublica and BBC Panorama exposed Salazar's dark side. Whistleblowers, including former athletes and assistant coach Steve Magnus, alleged the use of testosterone microdosing, L-carnitine infusions at questionable volumes, falsified medical exemptions, athletes being treated like science experiments. At the center of it all, Galen Rupp.
Local, late breaking. This is KEZI 9 News at 11.
An international investigation underway tonight, centered around one of track's best coaches and one of Oregon's brightest stars. Thanks for joining us. I'm Brian Richardson. A BBC documentary released today claims some athletes in Nike's Oregon Project used performance-enhancing drugs. The program's head coach, Alberto Salazar, and Olympian Galen Rupp, both named. It claims Salazar pushed banned substances on his athletes, and Rupp was taking a testosterone medication. Both have denied the claims and tonight released statements questioning the journalists at the center of this report. The allegations also testing the running community here in Tracktown. KEZI 9 News reporter Sarah Hurwitz is live outside of Hayward Field with their reaction. Sarah?
Well, it's certainly been the talk of the running community here in Eugene today, but many of the people in the competitive arena would not go on camera. And so far, mixed reviews on what this could mean for the sport after major allegations against the two running greats. They've set a track record of success, performing at levels almost unimaginable. But the inspirational run of Alberto Salazar and Galen Rupp is now being called into question.
When they're breaking new barriers and setting records, we all think something new is possible, and it drives us in our own running. And so to have anything that puts that in question really does shake the very foundation of a sport. Elite runners in Eugene are reacting to allegations that head coach of the Nike Oregon project, Alberto Salazar, encouraged Galen Rupp to take steroids. These allegations coming straight from former runners and a coach that worked alongside the two. Josh Gordon is in sports conflict management and competes for the University of Oregon Running Club. He says there's no question that Salazar and Rupp are some of the hardest working people in the running community, but the allegations are damaging.
The report claimed Rupp had been using testosterone as early as the age of 16, with medical records to back it up. Salazar denied it all. Rupp denied it. No suspension came, no charges. The investigation by USADA dragged on quietly. While Rupp was at the center of the doping discussion, another name loomed large: Mo Farah. Farah joined the Nike Oregon project in 2011, and from that moment, he became unbeatable. The allegations swirled: injections, questionable exemptions, secret medical protocol. Yet Farah repeatedly insisted, "I've never broken the rules, never failed a test." Still, documents showed that Farah had changed his story multiple times about which drugs he had or hadn't taken. Despite links to the same medical staff, including Dr. Jeffrey Brown, who was later banned, Farah was never sanctioned. Why? Some say he was protected. Others say there wasn't enough proof. But in a court of public opinion, the stain was never washed away.
Alberto Salazar is banned from the sport for the next 4 years. Thank you for joining us. I'm Laurel Porter.
And I'm Dan Haggerty. Salazar, who coaches for Nike, is already saying that he'll appeal this ban. KGW's Catherine Cook showed us what led anti-doping investigators to this point.
This is where the best runners in the country go.
It's been 4 years since Nike Oregon project track coach Alberto Salazar first faced serious doping allegations. They stem from a joint investigation by the BBC and ProPublica. On Monday, following a 4-year investigation and 2 years in court, the U.S. Anti-Doping Agency announced Salazar and endocrinologist Dr. Jeffrey Brown would both face a 4-year ban. USADA CEO Travis Tygart said, quote, "The athletes in these cases found the courage to speak out and ultimately expose the truth. While acting in connection with the Nike Oregon project, Mr. Salazar and Dr. Brown demonstrated that winning was more important than the health and well-being of the athletes they were sworn to protect." In 2012, Salazar coached Central Catholic grad Galen Rupp to an Olympic silver medal in the 10,000 meters. In 2015, a former Oregon project coach said he recalled seeing results from one of Rupp's blood tests.
Under one of Galen's, it had currently on testosterone and prednisone as medication. Testosterone is obviously banned.
Salazar and Rupp denied the allegations, and Rupp has never failed a drug test.
The panel found that Salazar committed multiple doping violations. They include tampering with the doping control process and trafficking testosterone. That came from being involved with a testosterone testing program in violation of the rules.
In a statement, Salazar said he was shocked by the outcome. Quote, "The Oregon project has never and will never permit doping. I will appeal and look forward to this unfair and protracted process reaching the conclusion I know to be true."
In 2021, Safe Sport issued a lifetime ban against Salazar. This time, not for drugs, but for emotional and physical misconduct. Multiple female athletes came forward describing extreme weight shaming, verbal abuse, control tactics that damaged their mental health. Olympian, Mary Kane released a chilling video describing how Salazar broke her. She developed an eating disorder. Her bones became so brittle, she broke 5 of them. Salazar denied any wrongdoing, but the ruling stood. He was banned for life. As of today, Alberto remains banned from all coaching, but the athletes he built, Galen Rupp, still competes. Mo Farah retired a national hero. Neither was ever suspended. Were they innocent or just too protected by a wall of silence, too powerful to break? The truth may never fully come out, but what is clear is this: the Nike Oregon Project was one of the most controversial, secretive, and scandal-plagued training groups in the history of track and field. And the story of Alberto Salazar is one that the sport may never live down.
I can drop a world lead, I don't even like running. You gotta run fast just to go and get some money. I'm Noah Lyles K, you know how I'm coming. I ain't going to no Olympics, I ain't running, I ain't jumping. I can make 100,000 at the crib being funny.